All right, so we got a little lower body 2 day here on giant sets, going pulls. So 4 exercises in a row, targeting some type of hamstring development. Watched a bunch of people at the gym go through this one again today, and pretty excited to go through it myself. So pretty easy first 2 days, if I'm being honest. Not nearly as sore as I kind of expected that I was going to be. I started off on Monday with lower body one, so some squats, a little sore, but not too bad. And then upper body one, followed that up on Tuesday, upper body pulls. And again, not nearly as sore as I thought I'd be, so pleasantly surprised. But we'll see what today brings. Been going through a bulking phase, so I am 5 out of 6 weeks in here. 6 weeks probably isn't enough time to really gain any substantial muscle, but I was going to do another cut prior to summertime. So wanted to look good come, May, June, when it really gets to be beach weather out here in California. But I was already feeling pretty light. I was sitting at like 188, 185 pounds, and really wanted to not get down to like 180. That would be insane. That'd be stupid light. So I was hoping to get back up to like 193, 195, and then cut a little bit from there and probably get back to right around where I was with just a little bit more muscle mass before we start a much bigger, longer 16-week gain phase um, over the summer. So the I think my current one, I'm looking at gaining like 0.375% of my body weight per week, and that'll be my next gaining phase as well. Whereas I'll look to lose about a pound per week over most of my cutting phases. But I'll probably have a winter bulk of a little bit faster gain rate. I think my goal for the next, let's say, 3 years is to get up above 200 pounds, like well above 200 pounds, but maintain a body composition of like less than 12, 10%. I think that'd be really cool. So that's kind of where I'm looking. But overall, this bulk has been, I mean, bulking's always been kind of hard for me. I really struggle with eating that much food cleanly. So if I'm eating, man, I think I'm eating like 500, 600 grams of carbs a day. And that's just really hard to do on like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. Definitely been working in a little bit of some cereal, like some frosted flakes, get that up, and then a little bit more sweets than I would normally eat if I was just in a maintenance phase or a cut phase. And really full too. My schedule doesn't really allow for like 4 even meals a day. So that means I usually eat like if I'm working, if I'm coaching from 5 until 1, then what that means is that I end up eating one meal at like 5 a.m. and then 3 meals between like 1 and 8 p.m., which kind of cramming a lot of food into a short amount of time, especially considering I have to do everything else during my day at that time too. Like prep any food for the next day or work out, anything else I want to do, walk, read, run, whatever. Like that's all done, in those same 7 hour period, essentially. So cramming a lot into my day, um, and trying to work an eating schedule, a consistent eating schedule around that. But we'll see. I'll do a body composition assessment, take some pictures next week, see where I'm at, compare them to where I was, and go from there. So, all right, let's pull up the workout here. I'm sure I'm going to have a little bit of mobility to get started. Just need the reminder of what it is. All right. Oh, we're going to go a little frog position. Okay. Got some March Madness on over here. Right, a couple of minutes here. So in this position, I'm in a deep hip flex position, deep knee flex position. My hips, I'm internally rotated at the hips. So we'll go a bilateral set of rails here. It's a good little groin stretch too, but looking to prep for some hinging patterns, a bunch of hinging patterns here, 160 reps or so of hamstrings. Looking to prep that little hip internal rotation work. So just some isometrics here to get going. Starting off with a 2-minute stretch. And with the PAIL, so the progressive angular isometric loading, we're thinking about actually trying to externally rotate from the hip against a fixed or a movable object so that it's an isometric. But we're looking to send that signal from the brain to the tissue, to the muscle spindles, to the Golgi tendon organs. Hey, I can produce some force here, so give me a little bit more length, a little bit more range of motion. And the hope is that that will lead to more range of motion throughout the workout and better development throughout the workout, essentially more damage along that whole range. But I have not sat in this position for this long for a while, and it's hard. Uncomfortable position. Breath in, squeeze down, and rotate. 20, 40%, 60, 80. Safe as great as 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll hang out here for another 30 seconds. All right. Oh. Always slow getting out of that position. Okay, getting into some correctives here. We'll go through my wellness questionnaire first. I haven't even checked my sleep. Was not good last night. I've been tired. Poor quality. Stress, not too bad. Soreness, not bad. Mood is pretty good, all things considered. Okay, let's get the heart rate monitor on. I just use the heart rate monitor to kind of track the workouts, make sure I'm getting enough rest in the session, in between exercises, in between sets. Not going too fast unless that's the intent of the program here. So, and usually that's like, I don't want to be at least back down into zone 2 before I start the next set, if not all the way back into a zone 1 or a zone 0, full recovery. But it does depend on the training goal. A little hinging work. Three points of contact here. Some activation work. And 2 sets here. All right. Take the subs here before I forget. Beta alanine that's given me absolutely no tingle. And a few more pills of alpha GPC. 3 left in there. We'll just take them all. Got aminos in the bottle. It's always good when the DirecTV won't play. So much for the March Madness. Probably throw on some Survivor, man. Oh, okay. Into some plyo, some broad jumps today. Okay, a little bit of rest. So this turf, not really turf, but I'm sure it's just concrete underneath it because it doesn't feel great on the feet. But there's a little bit of a slope to it, so I like the jumping up the hill instead of jumping down the hill. Just try to save the joints and things a little bit more. But started off with some broad jumps, started off with some depth drops to broad jumps. Now going a double jump, trying to be spurting off the floor. Taking it light because it's week 1, but I would like to see if I couldn't get all the way to that concrete block here. Probably like 7-8 yards by week 4. Probably be able to jump further too if I put shoes on. All right, one more set. Warming up here, some snatch grip RDLs. Working up, oh boy, that was 91 pounds. That is 91 kilos. Let's get that swapped over here. 200 pounds. Slap some big wheels on here to get rolling. Great mind muscle connection here already. Already feeling the hamstrings good. So some quarters on here. See what else I got programmed in for these giant sets. Some glute ham, which now that I'm looking at this, my setup's going to get real interesting here. Tight confines on space. Last warm-up set. I think that's probably gonna have to get moved out over here. Maybe that direction. Ouch. Small spaces. Okay, that's not too bad. Gives me a little bit more room with that barbell to work with. So, got a rep roller pad here and then a Rogue rack. So the pins don't quite fit. One's made in the US, one's made in China, one's Imperial, one's metric base. So this is what we got here. And we're using this for the all glute ham. Oh, we're still using the weight vest on that. Sick. It's going to be horribly inefficient. Not the best planning here on my part, everybody. We'll throw this here. And we'll throw that there. Okay. Now what else we got? Single leg RDLs. Let's use the dumbbell for those. I'm going to keep those stupid light today. Let's go 30 pounds. And then a little foam roll leg curl. Oh man, where are we going to do that, coach? All right, this will work. This will work. Let's throw the rest of the weight on there, 185. and 200. Let's see how camera angles are here. 10, 7, 10 each leg, 7, 9, 9 on that guy. Okay, let's do it to it. Whew. I'm gonna have to strap up on those. Ooh, boy, that's probably super loud and annoying on that mic, huh? I'll try to fix that next set. Famous last words, but those are too light. Okay, set one down. Not too bad. Not too bad. So immediate thoughts. I got to use straps on the RDLs. Single leg RDLs, too light. The glute ham felt good. Definitely felt my hamstrings working. But so that's been a progression of starting 40 or a 60-degree angle here on the bench, body weight, no weight vest, low reps, working my way up to high reps. Then I throw the weight vest on, go back to low reps, and now I'm in my first accumulation phase, so higher reps on the with the weight vest on. So next block, I'll drop this down a click to a 45-degree angle, take the weight vest away, go body weight, and try to get belt buckle, belly button to touch first and pull myself back up with my hamstrings. We'll see how it goes, but I followed the progression to a T, but for the purposes of the block and the protocol, pain in the ass because I don't want to do the weight vest with my RDLs. I think that like you see people on Instagram all the time doing like barbell squats or barbell RDLs or deadlifts or whatever movement that's essentially not a lunge, a pull up, or rucking with a weight vest on. It's silly. I don't really know what it's doing for you. There's some movements, right? Like single leg stuff, some Mike Boyle-esque type of things I can really understand and get behind why you'd use a weight vest. But something like an RDL, I think it's stupid. So I don't want to just keep it on the whole time. But taking it on and off is a big pain in the ass too. And it prevents me from going from the RDL to the glute hams as quickly as I would like. So we'll see. I might, because that one's actually the lowest in volume, I might stick it at the end. But that means I'd have to take this one and put it right after there. So I really like the idea of going hip dominant pull, knee dominant pull, hip dominant pull, knee dominant pull. That was the thought process. And I don't know that the reason I put this one here is number 2 and this one is number 4 is that this one's heavier and harder. But it is heavier and harder, but it's also a partial, which maybe it'd make more sense to put that one at the end and stick this one right after that one. But who knows? Probably doesn't matter as long as I come in and do the work. Straps. Let's get straps on here. Set number 2. All right, let's see here. Sick. All right, well, now the mic's on the vest. Just another thing to worry about here. All right. Whew. I guess I know why Sam Sulek goes with the hat mic. You guys, this angle here, maybe. All right. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. I think I'm going to go up on these single leg RDLs. I just think I have to. They're really light. I played around with different camera angle there, trying to make it a little bit more engaging for you guys. Kicking all this stuff behind me. If I don't do that, I do it where I know I have space and I keep my balance a little bit better. Those are pretty easy. I am starting to get an okay lower back pump, but that's to be expected with a protocol like this. Okay. So posterior chain, right? Hamstrings, glutes. Really does also include the spinal erectors of the low back. And that's why I say, like, hey, doing 4 posterior chain exercises in a row, I don't mind a little bit with spinal erector pump. And hopefully, like, kind of my gauge, right, is if I have a day like today where a lot of target emphasis on this musculature down here, if I wake up tomorrow and I'm most sore up here, it's probably not a good indicator that I had good technique, good mind muscle connection, the correct loads, the correct tempos. Whereas even if I get a little pump going here right now, the pump down in the glutes and the hamstrings is bigger, and that's where I'm fatigued the next day. That's a big win. That's the target right there. See if I can figure out this microphone here. Maybe it just goes for a moment. Right there. It's going to go right there for now. What the fuck was that? God damn. Not my day. Here we go. Back on. Single leg RDLs in. A little heavier this set. Much, much better. Whew. 3 down, 2 to go. Okay. Feeling good amount. Those hammies and glutes. Some exercises better than others, but that's okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to be sore tomorrow, but it feels good for week 1. So a couple things I was thinking about is I like to go snatch grip RDL. Let's start here. So I like to go 1 intensification block and 1 accumulation block with an RDL variation, probably a barbell, as your main movement on my lower 2. And that's usually in the same block where I have back squat. Why is that? This is another kilo progression. So in my other, not that intensification accumulation blocks, we'll call that intensification and accumulation cycle 1. In intensification and accumulation cycle 2, then my lower body 1 is going to be front squat, and my lower body 2 is going to be a deadlift from the floor. And the thought there is, well, just the total load standpoint, I can back squat more than I can front squat. Barbell deadlift's probably one of my strongest lifts. So let's put, as far as main lower body movements, the weakest one with the strongest one, and the 2 moderate ones kind of in the middle. And that's where the RDL falls for me. And then I split it up. So similar to how on an accumulation block on squat, I'm going to go heels elevated. A little bit better technique. I'm going to use less weight, get me a little bit safer position from a low back fatigue standpoint, and overall just a better quad pump, which is what I'm targeting with that exercise. And then on intensification blocks, we're going to go feet flat on the ground. But for my RDLs, I'm going to go a snatch grip or a wide grip RDL on my accumulation blocks and a regular grip RDL on my intensification blocks. Why is that? Well, number one, even though I'm using straps on my snatch grip RDL, I'm still going to be able to do less weight than on a regular RDL, even if I was using straps on the regular RDL. So it's one way to mitigate the amount of load I can use when the volume is really, really high. 2, it allows me to have more range of motion. Similar to going heels elevated, I can get even a little bit more depth in the bottom position. If we think about the purpose of an accumulation block, the purpose is really to increase lean muscle mass. And the best way to do that is by training through a full range of motion. So if I can get a little bit more range by using a wider grip, that's a lever I want to pull in this situation. And then my theory on straps is, as long as you know what you're doing and you understand that you're taking a risk by not allowing grip to be your limiting factor, then more power to you. But just understand you're putting other joints at risk. Now I'm just buying time by taking straps off, putting stuff away, even if it's kind of subconsciously, still finding ways to take my time in between exercises. All right, it's 9 on the foam roll leg curl. Going this way, just up a short angle here is a little better for you. Not for kids, YouTube. All right. 4 sets of 10 on the giant sets. Wrapped it up. It's good. I got a lot of breakdown to do here before I get into a quick B series. I'm gonna shut the camera off, turn it back on. All right, totally realized the last time after my new glute hams, I forgot to put the mic back on. All right, didn't say anything important, but we got some 2 up, 1 down calf raises here. We're gonna pair that up with some buzz saws for some core work over here. 3 sets of 10, which on these calf raises is gonna be rough because it's 10 on each leg. All right, 9 reps here. Okay, 1 set down. I think about a minute rest here. So did these ones last block. You guys can probably gather so far, I do a lot of my programming based off of 1 cycle of accumulation, 1 cycle of intensification. So I alternate accumulation 1, intensification 1. We're going to train TIBs, TIB bar raises. Accumulation 2, intensification 2. We're going to train calves. And so last block, I had some single leg calf raises with the safety bar programmed in there. Found out I'm not strong enough on 1 leg to go 68-pound safety bar up for rep. So I had to switch it to a 2 legs up, 1 leg down. And that got me pretty sore. Now, I'm not going to develop the most well-defined calves by training these 6 months out of the year, doing calf raises 6 months out of the year. But it does probably have some type of maintenance volume so that I can run and so that I can jump without causing some significant soft tissue damage or worse, snapping an Achilles. At least that's what I tell myself. Knock on wood. Then number 2. Can't tell you my calves are going to be sore tomorrow. And if you haven't done a buzzsaw like that before, people have done it a lot of times with the roller or the slides underneath your shins or underneath your toes, or with a bigger object like a Swiss ball or physio ball. But doing it on a foam roller on your forearms, man, that's hard. And then the way that this block is structured with my 2 lower body days, one or giant sets. Lower 1 is A series, all quad dominant movements. Lower 2, A series, is all glute dominant movements. I had a choice to make. Do I do tibs one day and calves the other day, or do I just load up and do 2 calf variations in the same training block, try to load up a little bit more volume there when I have the opportunity, as well as some ab work in there? And how just do I structure that, organize that? And that's ultimately what I decided to do, was do some single leg seated calf raises on lower 1, paired up with some ab work, some more flexion dominant traditional ab work. And then today, go more of my anti-flexion paired up with a standing calf raise variation. And that's really different muscles in the calf that are being used. The seated calf raise, we're thinking more of the soleus, so the small stringy muscle kind of underneath the bigger muscle that's on the outside, which is the gastroc, which is going to be trained more when the knee is straight in something like this variation of a calf raise. Oh yeah, and it's gonna make my calves sore as shit tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if my calves are the most sore muscle overall tomorrow. Good 3 minutes here of stretches, some hip flexor work, and some posterior chain work here. This is all just maintenance stuff, right? So if I can tag this on at the end of a workout here, higher likelihood that I will do it than if I just tell myself, hey, you'll do this while you're watching the Nuggets game tonight, or you'll do this on your day off. Higher likelihood that it probably doesn't happen. But if I can do it, I'm already down here. I know it's only going to take me another 3 minutes. I don't think it really matters that I'm doing it after the workout, unless I put a lot of effort into controlling my breathing and really trying to down regulate. But from a consistency standpoint, from a getting it done standpoint, this is probably the best time to do it. And the consistency of doing it, it's really what matters. If I do it once, if I say, hey, I'll do it tonight, I'll do it later, I'm hungry, I'm going to go eat, shower, get ready for a Friday night, I'll do it later. Really a good chance that I won't do it later. And that breaks up the consistency. And that, to me, is where all the benefits come from, is doing this repeatedly over and over and over again, which is really the same thing with training in general, right? We don't improve after one training session. We improve after consistent diligent, well thought out effort. And that's true whether it's training in the weight room, whether it's conditioning, whether it's nutrition. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Okay, that's a wrap. Tomorrow, I got my upper body 2-day, giant sets, push work. I got some bench, got some dips. Should be a good one. Day off Sunday, starting week 2 on Monday. Here we go.